This is 3.5 part 2. And in this last page, we're going to be dealing with questions that have negative signs in different places. And I've tried to make some rules on the side here. Now, I don't want you to memorize these rules. I want them to make sense to you. So I'll come back to this in a second. Let's start out with our first step, which is always to identify A, B, and C. So A is 1, B in this case is -5, and C is 6. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to be C, which is 6, but add to be -5. What numbers in the world multiply to be 6? Well, 1 times 6, 2 times 3, and that's it. Now those multiply to be 6, but if I want them to add to be -5, you have to give this some thought. And what you're going to come up with is if both of these were negative to begin with, it would work because -2 times -3 is a +6, but -2 plus -3 is -5. So what my rule says here on the side, and yours is typed in properly, if your value of B is negative and your C is positive, then both of your two what I call part numbers will also have to be negative. So our part numbers are -2 and -3. Once you've established that, again, it's really easy. You have your two sets of brackets that you're going to put down. And in the first bracket, you're going to put an x minus 2. And the second bracket, you're going to put an x minus 3. And don't forget that this actually equals my original question. And when you write it in brackets, again, we call it the factors, or the product, or the length and width of the rectangle. Next one's a similar kind of situation. A is 1, B is -10, and C is 21. I want two numbers that multiply to give me C, which is 21, and the same two numbers that add to give me B, which is -10. Well, let's take a look at 21. 1 times 21, 7 times 3. Well, 7 and 3, if they were both negative, would work in both situations. So that's what I'm going to go with. And right away then, my two brackets are x minus 7 and x minus 3. And sometimes it's helpful to put at the end that this does equal the original question you were given. Those are the factors. Last one. Last one is a slightly different situation because you have both B and C being negative. So A is 1, B is -2, and C is -5. And you want two numbers that multiply to give you, oops, C is -15, -15, and add to give you -2. Well, what multiplies to give me -15? 5 and 3, and one of those would have to be negative. So -5 and 3, or 5 times -3, or 1 times 15, or 15 times 1. This step here, you either can show it if you want to, but you don't have to. It's just helpful. Which of these four will combine to be -2? This one. -5 and 3, and -5 and 3. And again, put the plus sign there just to remember what's going to go in your brackets in a second. My original question was x squared minus 2x minus 15. And the factors of that are going to be x minus 5 and x plus 3.